Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. With the CDL just about to begin, there's been lots of drama and beef going down over the last couple of weeks, especially Scrappy involved. The drama with Shotzzy takes another step last night, but also on the BPL side, Drazah of course got the victory in that just a couple of days ago. Prid not happy though with the actions of TJ and Proloot, and definitely takes some interesting response to the league's commissioner. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, gotta mention some of these new team intros they're coming up with. This is the Subliners one. A lot of these, we remember some of the good ones quite fondly, and they usually, well, some teams have to update them as and when they make a roster change, which sometimes will happen. Whether that'll happen for New York, we'll see. So this is the one that they put together. I won't, okay, they share the whole thing, but we'll see it when they play their match tomorrow, actually. There was also, there was a funny response from Thieves to this one, but this is one of the coolest ones from Surge. Like, I'm going to be honest here, because Seattle Surge, let's not forget, when they initially came through, the start of the CDL, Modern Warfare 2019 into the 2020 season, you guys probably remember that Octane said, it was just recently though that he said this actually, but they'd spent, I think, 100 grand on this intro video they did. They flew out there to some, some facility. JoeDeceives, was getting involved with all this stuff. So, but still, Seattle Surge, despite the state of the league, and I said it earlier today, the league might be in a tricky spot, but there's still a lot of interest, a lot of investment. Look at the effort they went to with this. This is actually so fire, honestly. It's one of the best intro videos that I've ever seen. And so Surge is still, they're still committing to the production value and stuff like this to make it work. And, this is what they come up with. So I think this is fantastic stuff. I'm looking forward to see these guys in action this season and see if they can surprise us, right? Because I think when this team was formed, lots of questions, I still think for good reason, but the way the meta presently is, I think they've got a good chance. Now, OpTic as well, they're going to have an intro video. Okay, every team has something going on, but some put more effort in than others. Shotzzy said that, they've recorded it, they've got something going. So, looking forward to this. And here he is on Greece just trying to find jump spots because, this is what he does for a living, basically. There's also something going down with the New York Subliners, guys. Here's Daryl, coach of the team. Of course, he's there with Sender, looking at Simp and Skyz and HyDra, relaxing, sleepy boys after content. So, they've obviously done some work. And I thought it was an interesting response from Clay because he was part of the Subliners for, 1 year during Cold War, but mainly that was online. And then the start of the Vanguard year, of course, he was there, and then the drama happened with Krim, and we know what happened then. I thought his comments, though, were quite interesting on the way that Subliners do their content days. We know that, OpTic have their content day on, the Tuesday or whatever, and usually that's how things go. And I guess Subliners are doing it on the Wednesday. And as Clay says, I see you guys are still ruining every Wednesday practice with this schedule. So Sim says it's 9 a.m. every day. You'd love this. I know that boy Paco is struggling. There he is on the right-hand side. So kind of interesting observation. I think a lot of the pros feel this way, right? They would prefer not to do any content, really. Some pros would still want to do it, but most pros, especially at this time of the year, they're more interested in just playing the game and getting the practice in. They don't necessarily want to get up at 9 or get to the facility to do content in the morning and then start scrims at 1. And they get pretty tired as a result. And Clay says that maybe the practice isn't as good when you've got to do this stuff. But it's kind of just par for the course, and we know that players like Scump they've done this for years when Scump would be doing content and they'd be streaming, or then he'd scrim, right? And then he'd get home and stream at night. The players that are built different, that want it more, they can make it work. And if these players want to make this stuff work in the long term, they've kind of got to embrace the content side of things. Even though, as Clay says, does it hurt their practice at least a small degree because they're a bit more tired? Probably, but is it still worth it? I would say probably yes. Clayster was also quite heavily involved in this list. So Brian Stats puts together championships per player of current CDL pros, with the likes of Octane retiring and with the likes of Scump and Krim and Formal and Karma stepping over the last couple of years. Clay is now by far the winningest player in the league with 18 championships. Slasher, Priestahh, Simp, aBeZy, RCs all at 9, and then it kind of goes down from there to Standy, Scrappy, Assault, and Civ and Pred all at 1. Assault, of course, the only championship he ever won was the World Championship we got MVP for back in 2018 on Evil Geniuses. And I thought it was pretty funny just to look at the comparison then, because if you add those all up, you'll find that the only team without a championship is Heretics. Every other team has at least some championships on their roster. These are total combined championships. FaZe, of course, have the most at 28 between them. Surge at 19. Then Ravens tied with Boston at 80, which is kind of funny, right, that Clay solo carries his team to top 3. And look, if he could get a couple of wins this year, okay, it's unlikely, but if he could, then he'd move into P2, potentially all on his own. And as Clay says, yeah, me and the lads are top 3, let's go. Like, good job, boys. Let's keep it moving. But a couple of funny clips I've got to share. There was a lot of great clips, honestly, going down last night. This was a good one here, playing some 8s where Clay's on the ginger ale, and he's like, nah, no way you guys are roasting me for the ginger ale. What's wrong with this ginger ale stuff? But it was also Scrappy versus Shotzzy. We've seen a lot of stuff on this over the last couple of weeks, really. Scrappy was also reviewing some supposed snaking here in challenges. I don't know what you guys think about this. As far as I'm concerned, this is totally clean, and Scrappy and those guys agree as well. So here's Pro Loot here on Karachi. Look, there's a wall here. Walls are meant to be used in this way to some degree, and what he's doing is crouching and standing up. This isn't snaking. Crouching and standing up is like a legal thing. It's allowed, and to be honest, maybe there should be an argument from, well, maybe the pros or from somebody that should you be able to crouch and stand up again and again forever? Maybe not. And from the other person's point of view, sometimes it doesn't look massively different to snaking. But the difference between what this is and snaking, because look at, he's just going, you know, he crouches down, then he stands up again, kills Exceed, crouches down, stands up again. There's nothing wrong with this by the rules, and those guys agree that it's perfectly fine. Snaking is when you're going prone and then you're sprinting out of it and standing up. The difference with that is that when you crouch and stand up, your hitbox is actually aligned much better from the other person's perspective than when you snake. When you snake, what they see is not what you see. You see them, they don't really see you, because that's just the hitboxes and the character models just don't align so well. Whereas when you crouch and stand up, that effect is greatly reduced. So sure, it might look like they got snaked, but technically by the rules, this is fine. And I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you know, what are you going to do? But it seems Scrappy had like half turned over a new leaf here. We know that he's been beefing a lot with plenty of players. The likes of Clay especially, and Shotzzy, and I mean, look, who hasn't Scrappy beefed a little bit with at the start of the season? Scump, of course, we know he's had a fair few interactions with, but Shotzzy was quite an interesting one, and he goes into Shotzzy's channel and says, oh, hey, Ant, hope you're having a really good day. Definitely turning over a new leaf here, Scrappy. And then, well, Shotzzy with a pretty funny reply.
Go, man! Nice comeback, bros. That calls for a ginger ale. What? I don't know.
That was insane.
No, that's an insane comment right there. What the fuck did you just say to me?
Hey Anthony, I hope you had a good day today. Oh my god, I just called you Eli. Scrappy, you have literally the hugest neck. The Scrappy, there's no head glitches when I play against you, buddy. I feel I'm gonna raid you, but they might get spawn trapped for a little bit.
I'm on stream, bro.
Wait, easy back.
AG, what's your question, bro?
Can he please ban TJ and Pro Loot from the Pro 8 BPL Discord, because they keep disconnecting me from the call.
Yo, can you ban TJ and Pro Loot from the BPL, because they keep disconnecting him from the queue or the call or some shit, like they're f***ing with him. You ban those motherfuckers or no?
Please, bro. They play for the Houston Spartans. Like,
yeah,
please get rid of him.
He said he's gonna. You heard him? Can you hear me? G? He said he's gonna time him out. You heard him?
Bet. Thank you. Tell him I said thank you.
He said thank you. He said thank you.
And to tell him AG said cucumber.
You're good. I got him.
Alright, bet. Yo, throw me in there and put me on the top of the leaderboard. Just make up some random stat, bro. Just throw me up there.
Okay, throw me there too.
AG, I'm ready to do
That's what
it.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate it.
Also, you're a good man. Also, thank you for
I'll
picking
catch you
up.
boys later.
You have a good night,
boys.
Take it easy.
Thanks, thanks, Tom, man.
Nah, that's not snaking. That's not snaking. What is that? Their coach needs the challenge card taken away.
That's not snaking.
Their challenge needs to be taken away. That's not snaking. That's not snaking.
You're not blatantly snaking.
That's not snaking. That's not snaking. He's
You're
good.
not hitting multiple pumps, bro.
Yeah. I watched it. I don't think that's snaking, bro.
So Scrappy's intention here really was to kind of turn over a new leaf here and take a step forward and, you know, say, you know what, I'm going to leave the trash talk days behind me and I'm going to keep pushing forwards with positivity. I think that he's probably going to go demon time now. I hope you had a great day today. Of course, he's being kind of sarcastic, right, with a quad exclam. And, you know, what the hell are you talking about, Shotzzy? Come on. I also don't know where this came from here as well, but I saw this floating around yesterday, which I thought was pretty good. So, I mean, look, it's going to live on for a long time, but Shotzy's going to double down on it. It's not going away. Scrummy's going to have to deal with it. But, you know, it's all in good fun at the end of the day. There was also that clip that I shared to you guys of in the BPL side, which, of course, is still kind of continuing on. It's, okay, the ladder is kind of over for now. Drazah took the victory and he took the prize money because he was never going to let that not happen. He was always going to grind more, it seems, than everybody else. But it's tough, really. I mean, you look at that FaZe team going into the new season, there just aren't any weaknesses. At least in previous years, looking at, you know, when Cellium and Arstees were there and when Cellium and Sasha were there, it was like, well, you know, there's weaknesses in terms of, is it possible that the AR roles don't work so well? And I think that was true, really, for the last couple of years. Now Drazah comes in, it's like, well, there's no more concerns over roles on paper. Okay, maybe if you think Cellium's going to be substantially worse with no snaking, I don't really think that's going to be the case. Higher time to kill should favour the likes of Simp as well. So it's like, you look at that FaZe team, it's tough to find any weaknesses at all. But we do know that historically, you know, OpTic have kind of had their number in matches over the last couple of years. So Pred was talking about, you know, TJ probably wanted a banned. easyMac comes on the phone and says, all right, we'll give him a timeout and then we'll kind of move on from there. Just one final thing, which is, you know, unfortunate, but again, I'm going to keep mentioning this until we get some sort of resolution possibly on it, is the future of the London Royal Ravens. We know that, okay, Carolina now, but they used to be London, and people haven't forgotten about that. We saw Dominate, former head coach over there, came out and said, look, guys, are you ever going to pay me the money I'm owed? Are you ever going to pay the boys that I was, you know, playing with, my teammates, the guys that I worked with, the money they're owed? And, I mean, look, this was a common thing pre-CDL, but the whole point of the CDL in some respects was that the organizations involved would actually have money and be respectable, but that ain't the case. And as Cam Allen says, who worked with the guys before, messed me about, didn't tell me they weren't re-signing me, massively underpaid me, didn't pay for my travel multiple times. So yeah, lots of frustration. I don't know where this is going to end. For good reason, of course. The guys are calling out Ravens over this. I don't know if they're ever going to respond. And we saw the other day they hosted like you know, Q&A, you know, and during the Q&A they were probably asked a little bit like, oh, when are you going to pay those guys the money you owe? And I don't imagine there was any great response from the players on that one. But yeah, very much interested in your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
I think there was literally a humongous Bigfoot. Like huge.
Like somebody like a
Why?
They have to be, bro. Think about it.
I feel like there'd be proof of that, bro.
Why the f would there have to be a giant? Why? Think about what? What am I thinking about?
Listen, to make the pyramid how it is right now, you can't mess up a single inch.
It's perfect.
Or else
it's literally
it falls.
perfect, bro. It's
Or else it collapses. Who can make that?
Why do you think a giant could make that?
Because listen, back then we didn't have the technology we do now, like with the crane like that.
But maybe they did, bro.
They did?
Yeah, maybe they had more technology than we
Nah, hell
have
nah.
now.
Nah, it's either.
What do you mean?
Nah, they just didn't have internet. So like, how are they supposed to like, you know what I'm saying? Keep the
They might have had something way more advanced.
Bro, they just climbed that.
Nah,
you
dude,
gotta
you can't do
think
that.
like what
What do you mean?
civilization
That's
was
alien.
one